Today's teens and young adults are 40% more narcissistic than they were just 30 years ago. Entitlement is on the rise, not just in kids, but adults too. Whether it's people expecting promotions without the effort or feeling owed special treatment, in this video we will explore what's driving the shift and how you can avoid fostering entitlement in your own life and home. Hey guys, I'm Brandy, Lydon, host and founder of Mom You're Not Alone. I'm also a local realtor and investor here in Knoxville, Tennessee. So let's dive into this topic I'm super excited about. So number one, what's causing the entitlement epidemic? So before we talk about solutions, we need to understand what's driving this sense of entitlement in today's world. Social media and comparison culture is going to be a huge one. So social media plays a huge role. Platforms like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube are filled with influencers flaunting expensive clothes, luxury vacations, and perfect lifestyles. This creates a comparison trap. So according to research by the University of Copenhagen, social media use increases envy and dissatisfaction because people constantly compare this stuff to their real lives. Kids and even adults start to believe they deserve the same things without considering the work or sacrifice that goes into achieving these things. Now, helicopter parenting and overindulgence, this is another topic, and I'm sure if you're a parent out there, we're all guilty of this at some point in our lives. Yes. Parents who hover and do everything for their kids might be, you might mean well, but studies show that this can contribute to entitlement. So in a 2016 study by the University of Minnesota found that children raised by overly controlling parents are more likely to struggle with responsibility and expect things just to be handed to them. So when kids don't experience failure or disappointment, they expect life to always be easy. I would say, I'll share a little bit of personal experience on this one. After my husband passed, it was just kind of like survival mode, literally. And so my son, who was just turning 12, had to just dive in and grow up a little bit. And then my oldest daughter, she was 16, she had to help, a lot more than she had ever had to. She could drive now, and so she had to, I had to work to provide and pay the bills, and so she had to drive her brother to activities and all that kind of stuff. So I think where I might have coddled them a little bit more, through that experience, they've definitely grown up a lot and just learned responsibilities. It's natural and it's just easy for us parents to do that, yet when we give them a little bit of responsibility, when we teach them responsibility, it helps for sure. Let's talk about why it's a problem for kids and adults. So entitled kids often grow into entitled adults, and we know that, right? We see this all the time. So this mindset isn't just annoying, it's harmful. Entitled children grow up expecting everything to go their way, which is never going to happen. And so one report that we looked at, a 2018 report by the American Psychological Association, highlights how entitlement can lead to frustration, anxiety, and even depression when kids face the real world, where not everything goes according to their plan. They don't develop the resilience to handle setbacks or the empathy to understand other people's struggles. And then you've got adults who struggle with reality in the workplace. And then when things don't go their way, they either quit or they become bitter. So this isn't just bad for them, it's bad for everyone around them, everybody they work with, coworkers, bosses, etc. There's also a study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology that found entitled individuals are more likely to struggle with relationships and have lower job satisfaction. So if you think about struggling with a relationship, why would this be a bad thing? If you got an entitled adult that just feels like someone should be doing everything for them, how is that going to affect, having a partner, finding a partner in life? It's definitely going to affect it. They are not willing to be selfless and give and have give and take in a relationship. So that's huge for sure. Third one is going to be how to parent kids so they don't become entitled. Here's the good news. You can raise kids who are grounded, responsible, and grateful. It just takes really intentional parenting, but it's worth the effort. Here are some strategies that work. So we want to teach gratitude. So one of the simplest ways to encounter entitlement is to teach gratitude. The Greater Good Science Center at UC Berkeley found that grateful people are happier, healthier, and less likely to feel entitled. We want to make gratitude a daily habit, and that's huge. So, you can wake up, we've done a training and some coaching on this, but if you wake up and write 5 things you're grateful for, like that's the first thing you do when you get out of bed, if you have a little notebook, journal by your bed, and just literally 5 things you're grateful for. The second that you wake up, you're already in that mindset of being grateful. That could be a huge daily habit for you. We want to encourage kids to reflect on the good things in their lives and thank the people who helped them. For example, at dinner, you could ask each family member to share one thing they're thankful for that day. That's an easy one. And then you also want to let them experience disappointment. So it's natural for parents to want to shield their kids from disappointment, but this is how they learn resilience. So if your child doesn't win the game or doesn't get the toy they want, don't swoop in to fix it, right? So if they don't get the toy they want, they have to feel like this is not winning in life. Let them experience that feeling and help them work through it. So they're in sports, they don't win their game. They get in the car and they're mad, they're trying to work through that feeling, and maybe help them through it by asking questions like, how do you think you can handle this? Or what can you do differently next time? Things like that. It would be like, hey, you guys lost as a team. Yes. What are some things that you could do next time to be a better team player? Could you practice your free throw shots at home for 20 minutes? Could you be more of a defensive player? That kind of thing. So just asking them, to think about how they could do, but also knowing it's a team sport. They could play the best game of their life, and they're a team, so they have other people that they're depending on. Another thing that we could teach our kids would be to set boundaries around technology. This is going to be huge. Parents, you're probably not going to want to hear this. So since social media plays such a big role in fueling entitlement, set boundaries on the screen time. Encourage activities that don't involve comparing themselves to others, like reading, playing sports, or spending time outdoors. So you can even do like a social media detox as a family for a weekend or a week to reset those habits. This is another good study. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, children and teens who spend less time on social media tend to have better mental health and fewer feelings of inadequacy. And so I think this is really huge. If you think about your kids in different stages of life, right? When they're really young, they don't even have social media. They're outside, they're riding their bikes, they're riding little toys, they're, climbing a tree, they're doing whatever, throwing a ball. And there's no inadequacy feeling, right? So the older they get, the more involved with social media they get. They're going to start to feel this. And if let's say they get home from school, 4 o'clock, get a snack. If you allow them from 4 o'clock to the time they go to sleep, and you're never restricting that, can you imagine like the thoughts that are going through their heads on, they see TikTok, oh, I wish I had this, I wish I had this makeup, I wish I had this shirt, I wish I had this, I wish we could go on this vacation. It's just constant. Limiting that social media screen time is going to be huge. So another one is going to be number 4, practical tips for avoiding overindulgence. So overindulgence can breed entitlement. We all know that. And here's how to give your kids what they need without spoiling them. So teaching them the value of work is going to be huge. It's crucial for kids to understand that things don't just come to them for free. Assign chores to them at home and don't pay them for every little task. For bigger purchases or privileges, consider a system where they have to earn it. For instance, if your child wants a new video game, set up a savings plan where they can contribute from their allowance or earnings and practice that mindset of waiting for it. And so patience is a powerful antidote to entitlement, and I think that's really huge. So encourage your kids to save up for the things that they want rather than, giving into impulse buys. And so I'll share a little bit of personal experience on this. Just started this recently. Did this with my daughter, but I don't think I did this with her early on, like I'm trying to accomplish for my 14-year-old son. Think about it. How many times do your kids ask for $20, $40? I need this for school. I need this for concession. I need this for all kinds of things. Of course you're going to provide for them a roof over their head, their clothes they need, and food, right, to feed them. But all the extra things that they ask for throughout a month. Set a budget, whatever it is, $150, depending on your kid's age, what all the things that they need, $50, $100, $200, more, whatever you set out to choose, and that is their monthly budget. And so every little thing that they need, concession stand, they're going to Chick-fil-A with a friend, they're doing, anything that's not of the norm of you providing them a meal or, eating school lunch or whatever it is that they do, it's going to be out of that budget. And so it's truly going to make them, if you think about kids that want the $8 coffee or they want this something every time they walk into Target or the grocery store, it's going to really make them think. Giving them that budget is going to help them truly understand the value of money and not do the impulse buys. Study from University of Rochester on delayed gratification found that kids who learn to wait for rewards tend to have better academic and career success in life. Say no, stick to it, and don't be afraid to say no even when it's hard. When kids are used to getting everything they want, it can create unrealistic expectations. Consistent boundaries are key to preventing this entitlement issue. The National Institute of Child Health and Human Development emphasize that children thrive on limits. So even when they don't always like them in the moment, they thrive on limits. And if you think about how well kids do in school, they have boundaries, they have structure, they have, all of that, and they thrive in that, to a degree, right? Not more than 8 hours a day with that. They truly thrive on structure. Them being told no, eventually, once they're told no over and over, they will get used to that, and it's really going to be a good thing for them. Number 5, we're going to talk about helping adults overcome entitlement. So entitlement isn't just a kid problem. If you're struggling with this yourself, or you know somebody who is, here are some steps to overcome it. So we want to first shift your mindset. Entitlement often comes from a focus on what you don't have. So instead, practice gratitude. Take time each day to list things you're thankful for. A study from University of Miami found that people who practiced daily gratitude exercises reported fewer physical symptoms, felt better about their lives, and were more optimistic about the future. So embrace hard work. That's another one. So understand that success comes from effort, not expectation. So it's important to realize that no one owes you anything. Focus on self-improvement and putting in the work to achieve your goals. So this shift in perspective can help you move from feeling entitled to feeling empowered. And that's going to be huge. When you realize that you work really hard to get what you want and it's really worth that effort, it's going to be life-changing for sure. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. And if you got value from this video, make sure to like and subscribe today.